Miklaus64R here, and I honestly don't think anyone got that reference. Today we are checking out the top 10 updates for Minecraft Pocket Edition. If you are enjoying today's video, make sure you smash that like button. If you are new, subscribe, turn on notifications so you don't miss a video. So pretty much Minecraft Pocket Edition has had a total of 128 updates, if I can count right, which I think I did. That is a lot of updates, but we're going to be focusing on the major updates, so pretty much like 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, you know, not the little bug fixes in between. There's 28 major updates. Make sure you comment below which one is your favorite update for Minecraft Pocket Edition or Bedrock Edition, or which one is the worst. Comment them below, I'll check them out. All the gameplay will be just old gameplay off my channel. Considering I have like over 800 plus videos on my channel, I'm sure I can find some gameplay of these older versions. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Anyway, let's jump straight into the list. Just lose it. Before we start this top 10 countdown though, I'm going to be talking about the worst updates ever for Minecraft Pocket Edition in my opinion, and starting off with 1.9.0. This update did nothing. All this update did was add a bunch of blocks which had no functionality whatsoever, and the only blocks what did have any use in the game was literally just a few walls. Like, who the hell cares for these walls? I mean, yeah, a bit of variety, but seriously, no one. So the next update I'm adding on this dishonorable mention list right here is 1.6.0. So this update up until this point had the least features out of every single update in the past. That's why I'm including it on the list. Like, it even adds a point compared to previous updates. 1.6.0 features less content than any major update. Like, what a disappointment that was. The final dishonorable mention is 0.10.0, and this update was so bad. It literally, all it did was add a few tweaks here and there. It added gold into the Mesa biome. Like, who cares? Gold's useless anyway. No one cares about the gold. So 0.10.0 had more changes than actual features in the update. I mean, it did change a few things with shaders, and since I do a lot of shader videos, you'd think I wouldn't put this on the dishonorable mention list, but you know what? I am. Screw it. It's a terrible update. So moving on to the top 10 right now. So starting it off, I'm going to be putting at number 10 is 0.1.2. You got to include the first version of Minecraft, because like, what are you going to do? You can't play Minecraft without it. So pretty much I'm putting it as number 10 because it was the first ever version of Minecraft Pocket Edition, and it was honestly amazing to see Minecraft come onto the handheld devices of mobiles, and it was just so cool. Moving on to number 2 is 0.7.0. The reason I'm putting this as number 9 is because it was realms. So this was the first version to ever include realms, which is amazing because realms, you know how it is. It's a bit of fun here and there with your mates. I've even got a realm at the moment, and it's pretty cool. So that's why I'm having it as number 9. It also did have a few other features such as buckets. It also included spawn eggs, and I think it even added fire. It did do a couple of other things, but I'm only putting it on the list because of the round. So coming in at number 8 on my list is Minecraft Pocket Edition or Bedrock Edition Better Together update of version 1.2.0. This was when they changed the name to Bedrock Edition across all platforms because you could actually, you know, play with other platforms now. I'm only including this one as number 8 is because simply of the cross-play, which is amazing. So if you had someone on Xbox, Windows 10 or Android even, and you had an iOS device, you could play with them, which is so amazing. So pretty much every version does have other features in it, but I'm just going off by memory and what it actually captures my, I guess, attention of why this major update is on the list. So yeah, 1.2 is on the list because of the multiplayer aspect of the game and the better together, which was honestly so amazing at the time. Moving on to the next update is the number 1.0.0. So this was a big update because it was actually the end of the alpha. So it is a major update for Pocket Edition because it did include the end. It also did have achievements and in-game music added to the game, but pretty much I'm adding this one as number 7 because of the end and the Ender Dragon. So pretty much again, Pocket Edition, the ending of Minecraft, which is amazing. Moving on the list is now to 0.16.0. So going along with, I guess, the bosses of the, you know how the Ender Dragon, but before that there was actually a different boss in the game. So 0.16.0 is when they added the Wither, and they also added the, what is it, the Elder Guardian. But honestly, whoever has time to fight that bad boy. 0.16.0 is in this list number because of the boss update. So this was a pretty big update considering it did add commands as well. Also beacons and ocean monuments. And as I said, the Wither and Elder Guardian were, I guess, considered the boss at the time. So it's pretty cool that they did add all those features in this update. That is why it is on the list. So coming in at number 6 is 0.9.0. So this is on number 6 because it was a pretty big update considering it actually added information infinite worlds. So along with infinite worlds, of course, it's going to have like all the caves and everything like that. So this is when they actually finally got rid of that small, very small world of Pocket Edition. So Pocket Edition had a world limit. I think it was like 200 and maybe 56 blocks or something. It wasn't that big. Like you could, if you had a good device, you could put the render distance to the max and see the whole map, which was crazy. So yeah, 0.9.0 is when they added the infinite world. So this had a bunch of features as well and a bunch of new biomes and everything like that. So that's why 0.9.0 is coming in at number 6, because it was the infinite world update, which was crazy. It gave everyone in Pocket Edition a bit more to explore, which was so cool. So moving on to the next update is 0.13.0. So the reason I'm including this on the list because this was the redstone update. So for a long period of time, a lot of people wanted redstone to be added into the game, and for a long period of time everyone was using redstone alternatives with signs and creating a bunch of cool things as well though. But this was the redstone update. So it did make a lot of custom maps a lot more interesting with the addition of redstone contraptions and everything like that in their world, which was pretty cool. But pretty much the redstone is why we're including it on the list, because this was the redstone update. So coming in at number 3, we're getting close to the end here. I think I stuffed up the counting before, but I'll put a number on every single, I guess, video clip or what number I'm up to. But anyway, coming in at number 3, this is 0.5.0. So this update was crazy because this was the first update, I guess, to include like some Bedrock Edition or Pocket Edition stuff at the time. So the exclusive feature, because there was no Nether at the time, this was the ultimate, I guess, exclusive. So this was the Nether Reactor Core update. So it did add into the game a bunch of things like melons, paintings, glowstones, cobwebs, even if you did like, you know, do a bit of inventory editor at the time, signs which you could not place down at the time. But honestly, the only reason why we're getting into this update as number 3 is because of the Nether Reactor Core and the Nether Reactor functionality, which was honestly so amazing at the time. I really wish they added that thing back into the game as another exclusive, like a portal or something, or just do something with it. Honestly, so cool, and had some great memories going through the Nether Reactor Core. Coming in at number 2, we're getting really close to the end here. So this is 0.3.0. So this was the first version of Minecraft Pocket Edition to incorporate crafting. This is why it's on number 2, because without crafting you cannot do a lot of things in Minecraft, and it just really spiced up the game a bit. So this update did add cows and chickens to the game, and it also did, I literally just said crafting. This was the crafting update, which added some crafting, not a lot of crafting things. If I'm being honest, there was really not much to craft in the game at the time, and a lot of things did come later in the updates, but I'm just making this as number 2 because when they added crafting, it was such a big update, and it was honestly so cool to think that Pocket Edition was slowly going to come to be Java Edition, and pretty much Pocket Edition now is Java Edition, even better. So 0.3.0, adding it to the list because of crafting, and it was so amazing. The crafting menu looks so different back in the day. You'll see a clip on the screen anyway of what the crafting used to look like. It was so different and so unique. I even personally enjoyed it because it had a bit more to it. But yeah, let's move on to number 1. But before we get into number 1, we've got some honorable mentions. So moving on to some honorable mentions before we get into number 1. So this is number 1 of the honorable mentions is 0.2.0, because this was the version that added in survival, which was pretty cool. So when Pocket Edition came out, it was only creative, and then they added survival. Well, it wasn't really as good survival, but it was still there, which was pretty cool. The next honorable mention is 0.4.0. So this was a pretty good update because I added a bunch more crafting items into the game. It also added in TNT, creepers, oh no, watch out, which was really fun, and chests and a few other things. But yeah, so that is an honorable mention right there. And the last honorable mention I do have here is the aquatic update. So that was, you know what the aquatic update is, a bunch of water things. On to number 1, which is, I guess, my most popular or most favorite update on Minecraft Pocket Edition. As I said, comment below which one is your favorite update, which one's your least favorite update. My favorite update across Minecraft Pocket Edition is 0.12.0. So this was a very big update considering it did add the Nether. You heard it right, they added the Nether in 0.12.0. As long with the Nether, they did sadly remove the Nether Reactor Core, which kind of sucks. But they did add the Nether, and it did have a bunch of other features as well, like hunger, weather, sprinting, sneaking, brewing, a bunch more, I guess, modes. So you got peaceful, easy, normal, and hard now. A bunch of different animations and a bunch more blocks, which is pretty cool. That is my number 1 pick there, 0.12.0. If you did enjoy the video, make sure you smash the like button. If you are new, subscribe, turn on notifications. Anyway, I think I dragged this video out long enough. It's probably too long. I'm very sorry. But anyway, I will see you in the next one. Enjoy the rest of the day or the night, depending on where you are in the world. But anyway, thanks for watching and peace. Hello, Lazzy here, and today we are checking out